Uh, I got to do it big. I have a handout here for you. I should have given one to Sandy. Um, Essentially, and I've said this before, it's a head, a circle, on a body, and I call it a sack of potatoes, on some tubes. But let me show you this. This might help. So I put 4 dots. This top dot is the shoulders. This second dot is your elbow. And your elbow is just a little bit above your belly button. So you kind of know where the middle is. So if we bring this down, there's our elbow. This one is just above our knee. So if we bring our jacket down a little bit more, and then we put our legs in, this bottom one is our feet. We need to leave a little space for the neck and put a head up here. Don't get into details. Details will kill you. These are small, tiny crowds of people that are in your pictures. These are not the person that's sitting across from you having a coffee. This is all the people all around. So you're going to put a little bit of hair. Now, I'm going to say that this person is walking away from us. Trust me, most of the people you get to draw are walking away from you. So that's just the way it works out. So I'm putting some hair on this way. You'll notice I'm not putting the neck in. I'm going to put these here to signify that the arms are going in front. All right? I want to join this because we're not looking at the person and it's not a jacket or something that we're seeing. So that's joined like that. And then this is just kind of a little bump in the bottom. I want you to look at that. There's hardly any lines there. But you can instantly tell that that's a person of some sort, especially if it's this big in your sketchbook. You'll be able to see that. The one thing that's missing is maybe a little shading behind the knees and a little shadow, because in my drawing, the light's coming this way. So there'll be a little shadow on this side. So we can put a little bit of cross-hatching, which is just lines back and forth, on that side, and give it a little bit more depth. That's a really simple example. I found, and I did a lot of research this week. Not really. But I found this on the internet, and it actually aligns with what I've been saying about how we should do this. So there are 2 little lessons here, and then I got a little crazy, and I started drawing people, and I thought, you might like the couple examples. But then I got like all kinds of them here. So I thought, well, what the heck, I'll give them to you anyway.
Thank you. Like a rule of thumb as far as like how wide, because I mean, I've got a really, like mine looks like a sumo wrestler, like it's really wide. So how do you?
So men are typically wider than women at the shoulders. So if it just put a little dash for a shoulder and another little dash for the other shoulder. So if I was doing this again, I would put a little dash and a little dash. That's it. Don't try to measure, don't try to overthink it. Go into it as it's happening. And if you need to make it a little bit wider to make it balanced, make it wider. Yeah. You can walk through the studio if you don't want to be on camera. But we'd like you on camera. See you, Lisa. Hmm?
Can we get a second one for June? One of these. I need another one of these for June.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm standing here with these in my hand. I'm sorry. Thank you again, my lovely and talented wife Sandra. And I don't even pay her for this. It's amazing. I'm not going to do a lot of examples here there are a lot of examples there. The key to this is to do as few lines as you can. Don't put lots of lines in here. Do not put a face. These are tiny, tiny, tiny. If you're going to do a face, and say it looks like this, whoops, put in a nose. Maybe put in 2 eyes. Don't put in eyes and a nose and then a mouth. Looks a little creepy, doesn't it? So just the eyes, just the nose, just the indication of where they're looking. Don't and to be honest with you, I don't normally put anything in. I just leave it as a blank face, and you can kind of get a sense of where they're looking and what they're doing. Because these aren't going to be the rock stars. These are going to be the supporting cast. We need them in there for, balance in our picture and to make it look like we actually were someplace. But we don't really need to do that. Now, can you put them in a drawing like this or a sketch like this where there aren't any? Sure you can. You can put people wherever you want. Keep in mind the proportion. So if this is actually a window, well, look in this room. Where does that window come? About here, maybe a little bit higher depending on how tall you are. So your person can't be taller than about the middle of that window. So that's the size we're talking about. Very small, very tiny. I actually did make some notes here, so I should probably look at them and see what they say. Hmm? I think you could. Where's my notes here? Yeah, begin simply, then add details if you want, but very few. Make sure you put some shadows in to show where the light's coming from, to kind of ground the person to where it is. And try to keep the 4 dots. It'll help you, especially if you're thinking about somebody moving. You're going to make one leg a little longer, a little shorter, but when you put a little shadow in behind the knee, it helps to, oh, I see what's happening there. That leg is moving. Yeah, and don't forget to leave space for the neck. Okay, you know what? I'm not going to rush through it. I think I have just about worn everybody out today. You all look really tired.
It's Monday.
Pardon?
Can you show us one more thing?
Yep.
One time you showed us how somebody was sitting, like cross-legged on the floor.
Yeah.
And you had remember?
Sandra really likes this one.
I do.
So it's the same idea. We put the 2 shoulders in. We have the body come down from there. Now this person is sitting cross-legged. So what we're putting in there are tubes that come together. Oops, that's a little bit too much.
No wonder 50 people sat behind.
Oh. So this is for another lesson, but I'll quickly toss it in here. So if these are the shoulders, let me make this a little bigger, and it comes down and comes down. The arms are tubes that are wider at the top and narrower at the bottom. So essentially, it's wider at the top, it comes together here at the elbow, then it gets wider again and gets narrower at the hand. So that will help you, I think, if you want to have your person waving or, picking up a bag of groceries or something. because after you've done that, you can then go in and round these things out, and they look more like real arms than if you just kind of did a tube and a tube. I've got these two fast asleep. Anybody else? Any other takers? That's it, gang. Please ask questions, though. I'm not kicking you out. You're more than welcome to stay and ask questions and hang out, buy me dinner, stuff like that.
Doesn't your wife do?